once again, I've written a Christmas song for Prison Architect. You ready?
Let's hear it.
Last Christmas I gave you a shank, and the very next day I went for a wank. This year, to save me from fear, I'm gonna hook up with Teabag. What do you make of that one, mate?
Oh,
you might
fucking
need to beep
hell.
out. You might need to beep it out.
I don't do beeping out, mate. It's either all going in or none of it's going in. Which
Well,
do you
all
want it
has
to be?
go in. I think it has to all go in.
Okay.
I work hard on these Christmas songs.
It's wonderful, mate. It's a masterpiece.
That's a good one, I
You
think.
should get
isn't
some
it?
singing lessons. You know,
Do you think?
open up your
You
range
said I'm
a
not a
little
good
bit.
singer.
No, I mean, even the best singers have singing lessons, mate. I'm
Oh,
saying that everyone can improve.
Everyone gets all through for improvement. Yeah, maybe I will, mate. Maybe I will. I look into that.
Yeah.
Next year.
Next year, right after you've learnt Portuguese. and
Yeah.
and become an Olympic swimmer.
Yeah, I think that time is past for me.
Yeah.
Being an Olympic swimmer. Right. Here we are. It's been a while, hasn't it? Since we've made one of these videos.
It's been a little while. Yeah, they're getting spread out a bit, aren't they now?
Well, it's because it's been difficult to show, isn't it? There hasn't been any sort of graphical, videoable.
Yeah. I mean, it's taken us months to get the multiplayer stuff all working reliably. But there's just nothing to show. Did you just say we haven't really done that?
Yeah, I did say that.
You dick. There's not a lot to show. All you can see is the game gradually working better in multiplayer. You know.
Yeah.
Should we join a game?
Yeah, let's join in. So, for those of you that don't know, this is the Prison Architect multiplayer launch.
Yeah.
So we're launching V1 of multiplayer now. By the time you watch this video, it will be out on Steam. You'll be automatically opted into it, and GOG, Humble, our store, everywhere else, it'll all be working. But there are a couple of limitations because Introversion doesn't really do version 1 launches, does it? It sort of does version 0.9 Foxtrot.
0. Well, in the sense that Prison Architect is never going to be finished, and there's always work to be done. I saw a public game there. I'm just trying to join it. So there's it's never going to be finished because we always have more things to fix. We always have more parts of the game to make. I mean, should we talk about what's not included in multiplayer?
Well, let's have a look and see what happens in this public game. So I think we should say that it's been in testing for a little while. So this is going to be a game that's running on the Steam test branch.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I know. I have no idea what's going to happen because I haven't actually joined Leander's game that was sat there waiting for us in the list where it would all be nice and neat and controlled and everything. And I've just joined a public game where who knows what we're going to see,
We're recording this video on a Sunday, so we've had to get Leander out of his bed. And I think it'd be quite fun if we didn't use him at all.
Yeah, he's sick. Sat there on his computer in an empty game server.
Thanks for nothing, dude.
Waiting for the directors to log in. This is taking a long time, isn't it?
It's going to be a big world, isn't it?
I don't know. It might be. Might just not work. Oh, yeah,
Flaky
it is.
networking.
Oh, it's a big game. Oh.
Wow.
Check that out. Wow, we landed on our feet there, didn't we? I thought
this is exciting. Almost like
we'd be logging in and we'd see giant penises and stuff. And
yeah.
Fuck the devs, written all over the floor and stuff.
So how many people are in here?
There's two other players. So you see on the right here. Here's the server, the host list.
Okay,
so Junior Duck is the host.
Yeah.
We're Chris, and L Beast is this guy here. Oh, Jesus. I don't know what they're doing. But they need to do more of it, because
what the actual?
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, it's pretty cool. Look at this. It's like a sort of, it's like a secret pathway.
That's an escape tunnel, right?
I don't know. Might be.
Across to the.
Well, if you remember, we put road escapes in either the last update or the one.
Right.
And so we made it so that if prisoners are hanging around here a lot and they see a truck, they can make a run for it and get in the truck and smash their way out through the gates.
Yeah.
So maybe that's part of the system that they plan to use to stop that from happening, because they've got sniper towers all around here covering it.
So what can we do to help these guys?
I just really don't know. I think we'll just watch.
This is good. This is good.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we can do all the things that we can do normally in Prison Architect. I mean, that's what we did, right? We did the Prison Architect video, the announcement for multiplayer a few months back. But a lot of features were not fully working, you know? A lot of screens weren't working, like these report screens. You know, most of these weren't here. Most of these weren't working, weren't synchronizing correctly. And now they are, you know? This is part of what you're talking about, right? That it's hard to demonstrate multiplayer because what can you say beyond all of this now works, you know?
Yeah, all this stuff that...
Through the magic of programming, this stuff all synchronizes, and we have all of our controls, and we can view all of the data that's, you know, there's just tons and tons of data in a game of Prison Architect.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
There's thousands. I mean, how many people are there even in this? There's 500 prisoners and 220 guards in this simulation, you know, and it's all running as if it's a single player game running locally, you know. You're not really seeing any evidence that it is multiplayer, except for the fact there are other players running around doing things, which is pretty cool, if you ask me.
Why are there a load of toilets next to the pool tables?
I don't know. I didn't build this game well, did I? Obviously being efficient.
Can you put a little wall in there?
Yeah.
Like a little privacy wall?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, come on, guys. You don't want to be playing pool and turn around and see someone curling down a log behind you, do you?
Should we have a little enclosed bathroom off to the side?
Yeah.
Here we go.
I'm waiting for these guys to come over. What are you doing in our game, man?
Yeah, they might do. We might get kicked out of the game.
Right, now that is a much better idea, right? So now, if you're playing pool and you need to go for it, you've dismantled them.
Yeah, sorry, I don't really want them there.
I was thinking that, you know, people would be able to go and have a, you know, continue with their game of pool whilst they were. I
mean, that would be extremely efficient, wouldn't it? Here we go. Junior Duck has come along and he's wondering what the fuck we're actually doing.
What the fuck? Who are you?
What the fuck are you doing?
Have we got chat yet?
No, so there's no text chat, so we have no capability to talk to him. It's one of the things that we just never got around to putting in. So one of the things that you might have noticed, like in the online game list, I can't look at it because I'm in a game.
Okay.
You might have noticed that there was a lot of two-player games that were private.
Yeah.
Locked off to the public. And I think that's just like, that's the use case of this game, you know? A lot of people, the people that are playing multiplayer consistently, tend to be playing it with their buddies.
Yeah,
working
combined.
together cooperatively with their own Skype chat or Discord or Slack or whatever the hell voice chat they happen to use. And they're private because they don't want people logging in and putting privacy walls around their toilets.
Around their...
Right? And dismantling their pool tables.
Their pool toilet, yeah.
Yeah. Understandable, really. So, you know, that's kind of... That's one of the reasons why we haven't prioritized like a full in-game text chat system, you know? Because we just feel like that's something we could do and it would take a while, but actually getting the core simulation of the game working reliably is far more important to us.
Absolutely. We have to build the foundations, right? And I kind of think that looking forward for where we might want to take multiplayer, a big part of this is going to be, I don't know, what you might call the kind of game design side of it. You know, how do you all work together cooperatively? How do you, you know, could there be non-cooperative, you know, challenge mode or something, and these other kind of stuff. But you're right, there needs to be some sort of mechanism where you can say, hey man, what are you doing in my game building a wall?
Yeah.
Those are the piss pool. That's
you
really
need
big
to go to vote
here.
on it. You need to vote on whether there should be a wall there or not.
That's right. What are you doing with our piss pool room, man?
Let's hire some workmen. He's got loads of workmen, but they're all busy doing this thing over here. They're all building this enormous new building, whatever it is that you want.
Going to be. It's like the World Championship piss pool hall.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we just joined a random game. You know, we don't know what we're going to get. Do we? We have no choice. We have no clue. Yeah. I mean, it's just like the sheer amount of stuff that there is in the game, like the sheer number of screens that all display the same stuff but slightly differently. All the different utility views that you can have, the electronics view, the water pipes view. All deployment screens, this stuff, some of the biggest nightmares that we had were in getting all this deployment stuff to work.
Yeah. Struggled a bit with that.
Behind the scenes, there's big algorithms that make this work that don't really run in the multiplayer context. So we had to fix all of that. Yeah, so in terms of what you can't do in multiplayer, You can't do escape mode. You can't do warden mode. You can't have mods running, right? So all the vanilla game works, but any of the sort of really fancy around the edge extra modes like escape mode or warden mode don't yet work.
Okay.
And it's one of the things. It's like we said in the last multiplayer video. Depending on the ongoing success of multiplayer, we may or may not start to include those.
And how solid is it? Is it pretty solid?
Very
Networking
solid.
Holding up?
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty solid. I mean, this is a pretty good test. You know, this isn't fairly extreme. There's actually 1,000 prisoners. I've just noticed.
Yeah, but you've got 200 megabit.
Yes.
Broadband, right?
I have got 200 megabit broadband. So yeah, well there you go. There's our data usage, right? We're sending 0, and we're receiving 125 kilobytes per second.
Right.
Which is not a lot. You know,
Yeah,
that's
no,
well within the range of anybody's internet connection. So that is, we've fretted about this a lot. I mean, that is more than a lot of multiplayer games.
Yeah.
Like DEFCON uses sort of less than 10 kilobytes a second. Because it just uses a completely different architecture.
Yeah.
We grafted multiplayer into effectively a 5-year-old game, so we have to send a lot of data every frame to keep it synchronized. But this is way less than, like, I don't know, YouTube or Netflix or Twitch or any of the standard things that gamers do these days in terms of bandwidth received. You know, if you're the server, then the sent would be this times the number of players. Right.
Right. Okay.
So the server is probably sending 200 kilobytes a second. You know. So, but it's not that bad. You know, it's fine. It seems to work fine. Reliability-wise, it's always been pretty good. I mean, we keep finding corner cases where stuff doesn't quite synchronize 100% correctly, and we probably always will. You know, but it's certainly very playable. There's a bit of a scrap going on down here. Yeah, I don't know what more to say about that, really.
No, I think it's really good. We've done a really good job. Be aware that there probably will be a couple of bugs still floating around in there, so please don't yell at us. We are but humble indies, and we will get fixes out as we determine things and crack on. But there you go. That's it.
Ooh,
multiplayer.
Our toilet wall was
version
finished.
almost
Look,
won.
it's finished.
What? Yay!
Privacy.
No more piss pool.
Now they have a little bit of privacy now. So unless you're sat on this table right here, you don't have to turn to your right and see a lot of naked prisoners all doing dumps.
That's the table for the fish,
yeah.
isn't it?
You get to sit there when you knew. If you stay here for long enough and you earn your stripes, maybe you can sit all the way over here.
You move up. There he is. That's the Don Curtis.
Yeah.
Who's just left. He gets to eat his dinner on his own outside of meal times, away from the shitters at the back. Yeah. Oh, I've got a potty mouth at the moment. Right, so there you go, everybody. Please continue to spread the word about Prison Architect.
So you didn't mention that is now on the public branch, right? So, well, it's on the trunk.
I did mention that.
Did you mention it? Well,
I thought I did.
I'll mention it
again. I'll mention it again.
It's on the trunk. So this is now available for everyone. So right now, during testing, this is only available to test users who have opted into multiplayer. But from the point of this video onwards, the multiplayer options will be available to everyone. That's not to say that you have to click on them, but they are there.
If you're brave enough, dive in. Right, good. Great. So, I watched a cool documentary on Netflix the other day, right? Have you seen this one about the kids that made the Raiders of the Lost Ark movie?
No.
Mate, this is amazing, right? This is absolutely amazing. You know these kids in like the 80s in America?
Yeah.
They watched Raiders of the Lost Ark, and they thought that is the most amazing film that there ever has been and ever will be. It is just incredible.
There's an argument for that. Yeah,
there is an argument for that, right? And if you were 8 or 9 years old in the 80s and you watched Raiders, as indeed I was, then that was a view that I would kind of hold. You know? And so they decided that they were going to remake it.
Right.
These kids. So they went out one summer and they bought some VHS recorders, whatever, and they started remaking Raiders. And over one summer, they didn't get very far.
Yeah.
They then spent 10 summers filming Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Wow.
Right? It's just phenomenal effort these kids put into recreating it. Like the boulder scene, it took them like 3 years, three boulders.
That's Temple, isn't it?
No. That's Raiders. It's
Is
Raiders.
it? Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right at the start when he's running away from the boulder, they did all this stuff. And anyway, they'd made all of it bar one scene, and the scene they hadn't made was, if you think back, there's a scene when there's a massive sort of giant fighting Indy underneath a aircraft that's turned around slowly.
I remember it well. And he like dummies him, doesn't he? And then he suddenly ducks out the way, and it's like, no! There's blood everywhere, isn't there? It's fantastic. It's a really tense scene, isn't it? Because Indy just can't beat him.
Yeah. It's exactly. It's brilliant.
So he has to outsmart him. It's character building through action.
That's right. Exactly. Use his brain to defeat the brawn. And the kids, they couldn't recreate that. They never really explain why, but it's probably because you need to have an enormous plane spinning around.
Yeah.
So as adults, they go back. They're like 20 years old. One of them's a EP, I think, in a video games company.
Yeah.
And they go back to film this last scene.
Yeah.
And they build the plane back, and they do their best to make this film. And the movie itself that they've made, somehow it got kind of handed around. This was without that final scene, that's the Netflix documentary, but without that final scene, it kind of got handed around, and it ended up at this film festival. And the curator,
bootleg Raiders of the Lost Ark film.
And the curator had watched this movie, and he put it on. They'd watched, I think it was The Two Towers, or it might be The Return of the King. That was going to be their big final movie that they were going to screen. They'd been up for like 24 hours watching films in this cinema that they'd rented. And they had this little breakfast break. They had 3/4 of an hour. And whilst they were eating their breakfast, he just decided to put this film on. And they talked to a couple of the other people at this festival. And they said, to start off with, they thought it was just like a little trailer. It's going to be a short 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But as they watched it over the 45 minutes, they just were rooting more and more and more for these kids, because you just got like these 7-year-olds playing Indy, and but shot for shot remake of the film. And then they didn't want to watch Two Towers.
Nice.
Right? They watched the end of the Raiders movie, right?
Well, everyone's seen Two Towers, haven't they? Like a million.
Well, they hadn't then. That was brand new out.
Right.
They were literally had no one had ever seen it, so they were literally. This was in like 2002 or something.
Yeah.
I can watch Raiders of the Lost Ark next week. I'm never going to be able to watch this movie again if I don't watch it now. And then a copy of this film got sent to Spielberg, right?
Yeah.
And Spielberg invited these kids, now at sort of whatever, teenagers or something, in to see him, to say, like, guys, this is the most amazing thing. I mean, mate, dreams do come true.
Yeah, that is actually pretty awesome, isn't it? They must have been unbelievably happy about that.
I mean, it just...
So are they getting older in every shot? Like, can you tell these kids again?
No, they're not getting older in every shot because they filmed it out of order.
Right.
So they go from being like 7 to being like however old they were, like 17. But like the first scene they're 9, and then the next one they're. But you just got to let that go.
Yeah.
Because you understand that that's how. And
that sounds brilliant, mate. That sounds brilliant.
You need to watch it, right? You need to watch it.
Can you actually watch this film?
I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can find it and sit through and watch all of that. And I kind of feel like I want to do that as well. But now that I know about the lore, I think it won't be quite as exciting as it would have been in this.
So you're saying that actually the making of is actually the more interesting bit.
Well, there's so much other stuff in this documentary. You know how Netflix just seems to have, I don't know.
Fucking hell, look at this. I just checked out Leander's game. It's like all these other players in here, all building a prison.
Oh, see, this is the joy of multiplayer.
There's like 6 players in here.
Jabbering on about.
You're jabbering on about
Lost Ark remake.
Yeah, and then Leander's just been hit. Oh, okay. Looks like somebody's just fucking it all up there.
Yeah, well, kick. I told you we could demonstrate kick.
Yeah, well, we can't. Leander's the host.
Oh, right. Can you tell Leander?
Whichever arsehole it is that's doing this is now filmed permanently. Yeah. Right. We know, you arsehole.
You vandal.
You dick.
Hang on, El Beast. Wasn't he in our last game?
El Beast? That's El Diablo.
No, El Beast.
No,
up. Yeah. It's like a pink one. El Beast.
Maybe he's followed us round.
Mate, he's a stalker. You've picked up a stalker.
Oh, what a dick.
He's come in here because he saw you destroy his piss pool hall.
Yeah.
And now he's coming in here fucking up Leander's shit.
Yeah, well, we did tell Leander to make it a public game. and he said, "Are you sure? Like, you sure you don't want to like put a password on it or something?"
Yeah.
And we were like, nah.
We want El Beast.
Make it public. I don't think it was El Beast. I think the people that fucked it left. There were 6 players in here when we joined.
They're raiders of the multiplayer prison.
Yeah. Oh, what a bunch of dicks. Yeah. Well, I think what must have happened is Leander probably panicked and kicked them, thinking, "Oh no, I've ruined the director's video." And he's forgotten, obviously, what the average Introversion video is like. And that we embrace the chaos.
We embrace it.
I mean, the thing is, you can talk about that. I mean, the thing is that people, if you make your game public without a password, people can log in and destroy everything. Right?
Yeah.
We've really wrestled with this because obviously the bulldoze button is right there. And are we going to take the bulldoze button away from the game? No. What you have is you have the undo button, so you can undo people's bulldozing, and you have the kick button if you're the server, so you can kick people out that have messed with you. To try and get around it, but it is like a problem with the game. Like the game, griefing is a thing if you make the game public, and it's probably why a lot of the servers are password protected in the server list.
Yeah.
To stop that very thing. Yeah, sorry, mate. I interrupted your Raiders of the Lost Ark story there. It was sounding really cool.
I sort of got to the end of it, mate. But I'm just saying that it's well worth a watch, and I think it's a good Christmas documentary. There's the fundamental theme of that movie, and also there's just some brilliant hair-raising moments in it. But just the idea that if you dream hard enough, I believe this. I really believe this. I'm not naive, but I think if you want something enough and you work hard enough at it, you will make some degree of success from that. But the question is simply what constitutes enough.
Yeah.
And for those guys, it was 16 years of their summer, 2 marriages, and he almost lost his job at the end.
Yeah.
That's what it cost them to remake Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is that if it had been like I'm not going to name any names, but some companies would have just ceased and desisted them as soon as they found out about it.
Yeah,
and put
absolutely.
put a complete end to the whole thing.
Absolutely.
They would have got a stern letter in the post saying, this is the end for you. You are going to be sued for millions of dollars of loss.
Yeah.
Kudos to kudos to Spielberg for recognizing that this was a good thing on every measurable scale.
Exactly.
That no harm had been done, and that this was something to be championed.
And I mean,
Spielberg's thing was kids movies that are awesome for kids, right? I mean, all Spielberg's best movies are all just fantastic adventures for kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great movies in their own right. I mean, if you watch them when you're a kid, they're really powerful things to watch because it's like, you can't believe
it. Yeah, absolutely. And I think he obviously wanted to inspire and give children that sense of escapism, which is he absolutely did in this case in the biggest possible way.
Yeah.
Biggest possible way. Kid's first kiss is filmed for the movie because obviously Indy kisses the girl. So they've got this girl.
So was that the real reason they did the whole thing? So he could get his first kiss. Oh, this is the scene.
Yeah, we're gonna have
one more take, fellas.
Gonna need to do this.
Right, stunt double. We just need the stunt double take.
Yeah, we need this stunt lips. Yeah. I think I should be the stunt lips in this scene.
Yeah.
Now, what amazing guys! And this. You need to watch it. There's this moment when he's trying to fulfill his vision. He's trying to film this final scene, and he's been rained off, and so he has to call his boss to ask for more time off. And they've recorded his boss talking to him.
Yeah.
And his boss just goes, "Look, man, I don't think I can give you any more time off. You guys, you're not committed to the business. You're not committed to the company. This project is just taking you away, and I don't think I can stand for this anymore. So I think I'm going to need to tell you that you need to be back in at 9 a.m. It's like, what a fucking brilliant villain.
Fucking dick.
And this is in a documentary. This is real life. That guy actually said that.
Just some tiny little smidgen of a man who's just like, no, you can't finish your dream.
Dick.
Yeah.
Just give him another week off,
I need you in the office to sell paper. Or whatever
I need you in the office to,
Yeah.
Like, fill in these Gantt charts.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're not gonna make it.
God damn it.
What have you ever done in your life?
I gave up on my dreams when I was 12, and quite frankly, you should have done the same.
You should have done it.
I'm
You
not
know what
going to
my
let
dream-
you fulfill your dreams.
My dream is to get this DLC pack out by Christmas. It's like, fuck, Jesus. You know, like, where's your heart? You know, where's your soul? What an asshole. And I hope he's thoroughly, thoroughly ashamed of himself.
Yeah.
And I hope he's
I hope
sought
he's happy that
forgiveness.
he's now the bad guy in this movie.
Yeah, well, they don't ever say who he is, right? Which is why I can be so disparaging about him. But I hope he sought forgiveness from these guys and said, look, I'm really sorry. And I hope his company has said to them, look, let's sponsor the release of your game, you know, and let's you know, give you some cash for doing something amazingly creative.
Yeah.
And even in the business, said to him, like, you know, try and tap into that creativity.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know why people think that crushing somebody's side project dreams is the way to get them to be productive at work.
It must be jealousy, mate, mustn't it? It must be jealousy. Like, I haven't got a side project. I didn't make Raiders when I was a kid.
Yeah. Not many people did, mate. Not many people did. Yeah.
I tried I took a tape recorder apart once to try and recreate that bit from the Goonies. You know, when he fires and then he reels himself across. I tried to do that. All I ended up doing there was breaking my tape recorder, mate, so I couldn't tape.
Yeah, right.
Gangster's
I
Paradise.
made a thing from. Do you remember in Masters of the Universe?
Yeah, mate. I watched a film about that
with Dolph Lundgren. I made the thing. You know, the thing that has all the.
Oh yeah,
I can't
yeah.
remember what
Like
it's called. That opens up and it has all the lights spinning around it. And
dimensional portals.
Tom Paris from Voyager uses it, doesn't he, to accidentally open a portal?
Yeah, does he? Is that Tom Paris from Voyager?
Yeah, it's Tom Paris from Voyager, absolutely. Before he was Tom Paris from Voyager. And Star Trek Trivia,
anomaly.
before he was Tom Paris from Star Trek The Next Generation, fucking up Wesley's career. Remember that one?
No, mate, Jesus Christ, you're better than me now.
They attempted the Corbett Starburst maneuver.
Oh, yes, they got in trouble.
And they got in trouble because their wingman got crashed and killed.
Yeah.
And Tom Paris took the fall for it.
Yeah, but actually Starfleet like a bit of that, don't they? Need a bit of risk.
Yeah, they got him back in Voyager because they were short of actors or something. I don't know.
Well, he probably needed a second chance. Federation always gives a second chance.
Yeah, there you go. Bit of Star Trek trivia to finish off the video.
There you go. That was good. I hope you enjoyed that. And the amazing thing about this video is we put the Prison Architect stuff at the start.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I haven't edited it yet, so that's
yeah.
That's still up for grabs. Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? Right, brilliant.
Good work, mate. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, mate, that came out a lot better than I thought it was going to.
Yeah, that's not a bad video given we had nothing to say other than multiplayer's finished.
Yeah, we're quite good at this shit, aren't we?
Yeah. How long does it take you to say multiplayer is finished?
Yeah.
Let's just do the short version of the video now, shall we?
Beep. 40 minutes. Multiplayer is finished.
Beep.
Right, put it in the can, mate. Put it in the can.
All right.